Tom Rini here, head coach and owner of Black Flag Athletics, here today with another episode of our 5-Minute Fitness. The place to come to learn a little bit about a little bit in under 5 minutes. Today we're going to be talking about rowing and rowing efficiency. See a lot of people jump on the rower and it looks seamless, it looks easy enough when you get in here. You just strap your feet on and start pulling. Unfortunately, efficiency is a big part of what we do on the rower. The more efficient we are with our movement, just like any other thing in the gym, the more efficient we are with the movement, the better we're going to be at it, the less energy expenditure we're going to have, the longer we're going to be able to stay on that apparatus. So here we go. We're going to talk about what we do with our feet on the rower. When we set our foot in there, we want to be in a position where the ball of the foot is on top of this pad here, okay? So we want to make sure the ball of the foot is on top of the pad here. When I pull this strap tight, that strap's going to be right along the joint line of my toes, okay? This is going to allow for range of motion as I move back and forth into this rowing position. Notice what's happening here. You'll have some coaches tell you want to keep your heels down when you come into a row. We'd rather have you be in a position where we can get our shin as perpendicular to the floor as possible, or our knee over the top of the ankle as we come back into our catch position when we're close up here to the fan, all right? So I want to be in that position then. As I strap my second foot in here, notice my position right here. My torso is nice and tall. Always want to maintain a neutral spine. One of the biggest issues we see because people lack range of motion is they start rounding the back or when fatigue starts to set in. So we really want to work on keeping our back as neutral as possible in these positions here. As I reach for those handles, I want to make sure that my arms actually extend over the top of my knees. Tendency for a lot of people is we either go outside of our knees to allow for greater range of motion, or we do this. Bigger people, tendency is knees go out as we can get a little closer in here, all right? So, but we're going to try and keep our arms right over the top, armpits extended. Notice my shoulder forward position here. I want to be hinged forward in this position here. I don't want to be sitting tall, and I certainly don't want to be leaning back in this position here. So when I'm in this catch position, I'm going to go ahead and my shoulders hinged forward. I'm going to maintain that position. So if you're looking back here, you can see the 1 o'clock position, 11 o'clock position here. I want to be in this 1 o'clock position. Now, one of the biggest issues we see here is a tendency for hips to shoot back, and now I'm overextended. Realizing that the power from a row comes from our legs. So we want to maintain this front position here with the shoulders hinged forward, and I'm going to push back with my legs first, maintaining this forward lean position. So again, hips go back as my legs do the work, and shoulders are still forward, all right? So this is what we call the drive phase. So catch, drive, all right? And then as we finish, notice here I'm in this 1 o'clock position you can see on the wall here, right? So I'm still in this forward position here. My legs have driven back. At this point, once my legs are done doing work, I can then hinge my shoulders or pull my shoulders back to this 11 o'clock position. One of the other things we see is athletes have a tendency to sit up nice and tall here, and this is where they stop, okay, with the finish of their drive phase. So what we want to make sure is that we lean back. Once we lean back, then we can draw our arms in, all right? Tendency here is we have a tendency to pull too early and sit up too tall. So again, my shoulders are forward, legs, shoulders back, and then I finish with the pull here. Notice my elbow position on the pull. Tendency for a lot of athletes is they pull very high to their chin and their elbows flare out, okay? When we do this, we take out a lot of the upper back that we can use to help finish with a big, strong pull. Also, it's going to fatigue our shoulders a little bit faster than it needs to be, right? So arms up here, tired shoulders, elbows down, pulling nice and close to our ribs is going to allow for a much stronger finish without the fatigue. So once I'm here in this 11 o'clock position and I've finished my drive phase here, I'm going to start back into my recovery. So we just go back through the process. We just reverse the order. So now arms will extend, shoulders are going to roll forward, right? Again, arms extend. So once I'm here, arms extend, shoulders roll forward. At that point, then I can pull myself in back to this catch position, again with the goal of the knee getting over the top of the ankle, armpits or biceps right over the knee. Notice my change position. One of the things that'll happen, and we will encourage this if it's a long row, but for our shorter rows, 500 to 1,000 meters, we want to make sure that we keep slack on the chain. So again, tendency here, and we'll see a lot of people here, they do a great job pulling back. They drop their arms down. We take slack out of the chain, and then they try and re-engage with a big pull, right? So what we want to do, and you can see the blue tape on there, I'm going to try and take my chain back at the bottom of the tape and then pull out at the top of the tape. So it's just a very little movement in there, and we're maintaining slack or tightness. We're taking out the slack on the chain. So the whole thing put together is here. Again, I'm hinged forward and then 11 o'clock. Legs push backward. I hinge back. I finish with the pull. Forward, bring the legs in. So next time you sit on a rower, I want you to think a little bit more about the phases that we need to put together in order to make ourselves more efficient on the rower. I promise you it'll make your workout a little bit better. It'll make you a little bit stronger, and we appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much.
Fam on 3. 1, 2, 3.